Hello everyone, and welcome back to the vlog. So, a couple of things I wanted to cover and just kind of get off my chest. First of all is that I had a very strange commentator pop up this last week. At first I wanted to try and take them as seriously as possible. They had some qualms. I tried to answer what was up with those qualms. They told me that I should continue to be myself, but then told me to stop the shows that allow me to be myself. They told me to stop the retro thing, even though retro games are still very popular. They told me to stop making retro-style music, even though retro-style music from video games is still somewhat popular. It's the reason why my channel has actually got a decent amount of viewers like yourself, aside from these vlogs. And they also told me to stop doing my current Let's Plays, even though I'm like over halfway through this one. That you don't just stop a Let's Play in the middle of it unless you find that the game is so lacking that you can't actually beat it in some manner. And while Warcraft has its issues, I do know I can beat it. So, just strikes me as extremely odd. He sent lots of mixed messages. I try to tell him there are certain things I won't stop because I either enjoy it or that we're still in the middle of a major part or just about to finish a major part. There's no reason to stop it right now. I told him that there's reasons why, in particular for these vlogs, why I have background music, because even if I put the audio for this video into Audacity, I still can't get rid of all the background noise, hence I have background music. And he called it droning music. It's not droning, it's actually pretty decent if you ever actually care to listen to it. But the point is that he told me to be original, to be myself, and then he told me to stop all the shows that allow me to be myself, and then told me to copy Derp Crew, like, almost completely. Just, he mentioned also, he decided to attack my friends who are willing and able to come in front of the camera, and told me to stop doing Malice, even though Malice is a character. I will admit, I've been kind of iffy with him when it comes to reviews. I do want to make his own standalone show, but there's been some problems in the mix for that, and hopefully, maybe sometime in the near future, those will be ironed out, and he'll get his own solo show. Have his own little kind of story-based show that will just be kind of its own little thing. And at that point, yes, he would become less involved with any of the reviews, except for maybe a pop-up here and there for any of the fans of his own solo show. But the matter remains that he contradicted himself a lot. And while I would rather just ignore him and move on, you just can't not stop and just kind of comment on that kind of weird, bizarre behavior. And I tried as nicely as possible, I might add, to tell him, well, I won't do this because of this, I need to do this because of this. And then he up and starts yelling at me like I'm attacking him or something. Obviously, if he's going to continue to act like this, then he's just doing it for attention or something. I don't know. He was even using a sock account, as far as I'm aware. He was just using some account with a random gibberish name with no videos or anything attached to it, so I'm not even sure who it really was. I assumed it was a previous troll that I had to ban before, who had this weird little potato icon, and he was like Spud or Potato or something. I can't remember now. It's been about 3 years since I banned him, so... But he kind of acted like he didn't know what I was talking about, so maybe he was a different troll, maybe he was somebody... Maybe he was the same guy, I don't know for sure. All I know is that what he put down in front of me really contradicted itself a lot, and a lot of it made no sense, even from people who have had long experiences with running a YouTube channel, that you just don't do the kind of things he was listing. You especially don't become a carbon copy, because otherwise I get even more people complaining than guys like him showing up at random points, you know? So, just kind of a weird mess. Just, that's all the comments I want to make about it, and I'm going to leave it at that. So, other things that have been going on. I have not commented on this yet, so I might as well do it now. the new Ghostbusters trailer. Now, I'm a big fan of the Ghostbusters. I was unsure about a remake, and I was unsure about why recasting it would be necessary. But I wasn't going to say, no, don't do it, because every once in a blue moon, there is a remake that's rather enjoyable. I actually enjoyed the pseudo reboot of Friday the 13th, even though some people nitpicked the hell out of it pointlessly. I liked it. I was actually watching a good number of Friday the 13th movies at the time. I thought it was a pretty decent reboot. Just my opinion. Nightmare on Elm Street remake wasn't really necessary, but it has some interesting ideas. But again, not really necessary. You get Robert Englund back and just do another sequel if that's what you really want to do. But however, Hollywood's recent remakes have been really kind of rotten. Like RoboCop, that was some painful shit. That was just schlock action with all of the heart and soul of the original ripped out of it and pissed upon. Just not good. And honestly, from what I've been seeing and hearing of this new trailer and of a early work release review of the movie, I'm desperately worried that essentially this is going to be another RoboCop, and people are already onto it. What I want out of Ghostbusters is twofold. It's got to be funny, and I don't mean like bad kind of funny. I mean like it needs to be genuinely smart and entertaining, and you need to have at least a little bit of the horror in it. You need to at least have something that looks like a legitimate threat, and something that could actually spook a person if you actually encountered it in real life. Like the cult coming to life, that's some freaky shit from number 2. The river of ooze that's corrupting everything as it touches it. Or if we go back to the original, as silly as Stay Puft is, he's a gigantic fucking monster that came out of someone's imagination. That's a legitimate threat. It literally crushes a church in the movie. There's... And the thing is that the smart thing about the original Ghostbusters is that it took ridiculousness and then slowly upped it to the ridiculousness of the seriousness, and slowly upped it to this ridiculous level where there's a giant monster and it's marching through New York. You don't just immediately jump to that, which is kind of what this trailer does. That and these really fake neon ghosts. In the original first 2 movies, there was really interesting different designs for all these different ghosts. And while not all of them were instant success or anything, a good number of them were, and they were done really well. And even if you had mostly humanoid ghosts, a lot of them felt different in their own little unique way. Like the librarian was this kind of soft pink thing, and when she got really angry, she turned into this ogre-looking thing that spooked the Ghostbusters themselves. Even the humanoids from the Titanic, they were just whispery, white, misty things that kind of slowly marched down the dock, and stuff like that. You don't just pick like this weird neon blue and expect it to be ooh spooky, because that's all we got for the ghosts. And then there's the really unrealistic tall-legged guy who's walking around, and the really fakey CGI ghost that just kind of lunges at the screen. Even Slimer doesn't feel quite right in this movie. And that's kind of a selling point if you're making a Ghostbusters movie, that Slimer needs to be effective. He was very middle of the road at best. I honestly don't have any faith in this one. I mean, I'm middle of the road about even like, say, Suicide Squad. And even Suicide Squad is on the better half of the middle of the road compared to where I was with the Ghostbusters remake before the trailers and before the possible reviews. And now I'm just totally against it. I'm not even going to bother trying to see this Ghostbusters movie. A lot of people are not going to bother. It just kind of stinks, you know? You kind of get this lofty impression of this is just someone randomly throwing money at a project in order to just make money before the franchise itself dies, because you're wasting our time now out of this. And the funny thing is that in the background there's been actually work out of another work being done on a different Ghostbusters movie that's not going to be a sequel to this one, but possibly a sequel to the originals. And if this movie falls through like it is looking like it's going to fall through, then possibly this attempt to try and make another better sequel to the actual franchise will actually be greenlit, because that would actually be a better idea, and everyone could easily tell you that would be a better idea already. I mean, there are scripts for this that are already better than just another knockoff remake, male or female cast. I don't really care. What matters is that is it a good movie, and it's really not panning out to be a good movie. And I don't think it's the actor's fault at all. I think it's sloppy writing and bad editing that's kind of killing this one already before it's even out. Also like to add, I've seen some interesting trailers. One is Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. I think that's how you pronounce that name. It's going to be a Tim Burton movie, and Tim Burton has been kind of on the teetering back and forth whether or not he's making good movies or not. Like the Dark Shadows one, I was really disappointed in, but this one generally looks like he's kind of trying again, and this actually looks like it could be an interesting movie. I don't know most of these actors. I think I saw a Samuel L. Jackson or a Samuel L. Jackson wannabe in there for one of the possible villains, which is kind of interesting. And the visual effects are really good. The story seems to be something you can kind of grasp from the trailer without actually giving everything away. So that looks possibly pretty promising. Also, it's recently come up due to my sister. She wants to also kind of introduce movies and going out and seeing movies with my nephew. And apparently there's been a teaser. You don't really get much out of it, but there's a teaser that just came out for Poppins. Is this going to be a remake? Is this going to be a sequel? It's not sure, but it's a teaser. There's not much to say about it, but it does look intriguing so far. So we'll see what the actual trailer looks like before any other decisions are made on that one in particular. Okay, there we are. Sausage Party, official Red Band trailer. Red Band usually means adult content. So what this essentially looks like is that it's, what if our food was actually alive, but didn't actually move or make normal walking movements or actually talk when we looked at it? And essentially, it's a very adult comedy about how a sausage finds out about the fact that they aren't just chosen for some great grand afterlife or something, but in fact they are being picked up to be eaten, and he starts to freak his shit out and tries to help a selective group of other people he knows that are also other food products. Lots of cursing, especially when the potato starts getting its skin peeled. Yeah, you can imagine that, and also it's yelling in like an Irish accent, so kind of amusing. It looks like it could be something pretty interesting, especially since it's a CG animated movie for adults. You don't normally really see that. I think the last time I saw anything like that had to have been Beowulf, and that was being more realistic and serious. This seems to be kiddish, but meant for adults to have fun with. So this could be an interesting little twist on the idea, and you don't normally see stuff like this pop up. So just kind of a movie that's caught my attention that might be interesting for other people to watch too. So yeah, Sausage Party, Home for Peculiar Children looked really interesting. The Ghostbusters remake, not so much. It looks pretty bad, and it might even be as bad, if not worse, than what the one review I've seen of it. Again, it was a review of a work process, a work print, rather. And while the work print isn't finished, this person mostly stated that the main footage was still already there. The only thing that was really missing essentially was the special effects, and that doesn't really affect how, like, jokes and acting actually work, because it's already there. It's already on the screen. It's just that some of the ghosts were missing, or weren't quite finished. that doesn't really affect it so much. And I've been fearful of this movie because I've been hearing little details getting dropped here and there, and I have been worried, and this review kind of just culminated everything I've been worried about. Again, don't know if this is a real review, don't know if this is just someone being really clever and heard some of the little leaks too and combined everything together. Don't know for sure, but I am extremely leery about the Ghostbusters movie. But I think that's about it. I've rambled on for almost 20 minutes now, so I think I'll let you all go. I'll edit down any of the dead air or some of my mishaps in talking, and I will see you all in the next vlog. See you all next week.